Welcome, and thanks for joining me. Today we're talking about using Microsoft Teams to connect nurses, doctors, and lab technicians as part of the series called Advancing Healthcare Through Digital Transformation by Quisitive. My name is Jeff Dalton. I'm a principal consultant with Quisitive and been working as a modern workplace architect for over 20 years. And most importantly, I am the father of a nursing student, so this stuff is near and dear to my heart. So let's talk about what we're going to cover. Teams is at the heart of communication inside of any hospital or organization. And we're going to talk about how that plays out in a hospital and inside of a healthcare organization. We'll talk about the benefits of Teams in healthcare and how Quisitive can help. So why does Teams matter to healthcare? Most importantly, around communication, Teams is a huge help. So the notion of using Microsoft Teams, sure, I can use my cell phone, and most folks in the hospital, most nurses and doctors and technicians, and all carry cell phones, right? So if I want to get a hold of somebody, I could probably text them or use a nearby landline. But the beauty of using Teams and Teams chat is that not only do you have all the governance and control and e-discovery and all the things that are necessary for normal IT, you also have the rich experience and contextual conversations that happen inside of Teams chat. So you know what the conversation's about because it's inside of a team that's based on either the roles the people inside of that team are used or a specific topic in a channel, right? So you're already minimizing the overhead that nurses and doctors and others have to sort through when they're receiving communication. Another great way of communicating in Teams is video calling. So there's something to be said for seeing a face, right? So sure, I could use my phone and call someone, but to have a video call when I can look across and call a doctor and communicate a lot more than I can with my voice using video calling or IP calling inside of Teams. There's also a really neat application called Walkie-Talkie that can be added to Teams, which allows a push-to-talk interface inside of Teams, and it keeps that communication open until you disconnect. So multiple people in multiple areas could all be talking about the same thing in this single walkie-talkie push-to-talk kind of conversation, and makes that communication very efficient and very effective. Now, a much more advanced and unique capability is this notion of virtual appointments. Certainly, virtual appointments are important, and via COVID, we all kind of learned how to do that kind of in a hurry. But one of the things that Microsoft has done is built in an automation and integration into almost all ERMs or EHR systems, including Epic, so that inside the Epic interface, where most nurses and doctors spend most of their time, they can manage those virtual appointments. They can open them up right from there, and it will use Teams as the back end of that interface, so you get all the rich governance capabilities, security, and compliance that sits inside of Teams, inside of those rich patient care experiences through virtual appointments. So what are the benefits of Teams overall in healthcare? For one, Teams is the user interface for the digital workplace. So what that means is across all those channels of individuals working in the hospital, both clinical workers as well as information workers, it has that one interface. So that contextual work where all the information is in one location, so you're not switching between multiple applications over and over again. Most hospitals have many applications that are trying to manage. So anytime that we can consolidate that, it's a huge benefit. And I just mentioned contextual work. And what that means is that instead of like email, when you're getting lots of subjects coming into a single stream, contextual work is facilitated by channels and team sites so that work can be organized by groups or by topic. And so the information and the documents and the conversations that are happening around that contextual idea. So Patricia did an amazing topic about the integration of healthcare data and how important that is. And Teams is a really good conduit for that because it is a development platform for solutions. And as I mentioned before, that single platform for clinical workers or frontline workers as well as knowledge workers to share in a single workspace. Another great benefit of Teams, because it is that single workspace, streamlining the scheduling that goes on in a hospital. And I hear the nightmares that my daughter tells me about, and when she's just doing rotations and doing her clinicals, about the scheduling and people changing and all that. Microsoft has an application called Shifts that manage that whole experience, and it's built inside of Teams. And it has easy integration to work management systems like Reflexis, Blue Yonder, and some of the other ones that are out there on the market. So it's real easy to make sure that you can import and export and have that seamless integration to those applications. The other thing that is being a patient myself, that patient intake form, right? To be able to take knowledge that you already know and have it verified and validated so that we're not, the patients aren't filling out their forms from scratch every time. Using Microsoft Forms and Power Automate, we can streamline that whole experience so that more time is spent doing patient care instead of filling out forms and waiting. And probably another really, really important part is that Teams is mobile friendly right out of the gate. So everything that you do inside of Teams works well on your phone, but still has that rich interface and all the benefits that we talked previously about inside of Teams. So how can Quisitive help on your Teams journey? Quisitive has many, many offerings around Teams and the applications that work inside of Teams. And one of the benefits of M365 is the power of that orchestration of the various different applications that provide value inside of M365, and Teams is a big part of that. One of the things that we can do is do this Teams assessment. And why that's important is because a lot of organizations, due to COVID, had to jump into Teams, didn't really think about how to do lifecycle management, and so it's just kind of sprawled all over the place. How do we clean that up and make that more effective and put some more governance and thought into how to make that a powerful platform? We also have a digital workplace foundations assessment. So we look at the foundations that the modern work is built upon to make sure that there are any holes in that so we can build solid user experiences to enhance both your team's experience as well as your overall digital workplace. Another great way of looking at the digital workplace and the digital journey that organizations are on, whether they're healthcare or not, is this idea of maturity. So where are we on our journey, and how do we not only assess where we're at on that journey, but how do we go to the next journey and ensure that it's adding value to the organization and most importantly to the users that are using it. Certainly we have Teams deployment services from simple deployment all the way to highly complex with application or solution development built in. We also have a big managed services team that can help ensure that growth and maturity is happening over time. And Teams, in the final analysis, is really a solution development platform, so we can use all the Teams, all the technologies that are available inside of M365 to glue those pieces together in the most effective way. So thank you for your time, and I really appreciate you spending it with me. If you have any questions, send an email to ask@quisitive.com. Have a great day.